What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of our weekly podcast. We are batting practice. Boy, does it feel good to be back. As you can see, and as you will be able to hear, Andrew is back on the pod. Um, we've missed you. We missed you. We held down the fort while you were gone, but it's great to have you back. Um, okay. I was thinking about this as we started recording. I
Okay.
think Andrew and Jacob are going to be doing a lot of the talking today, because both of them have had very interesting,
Oh,
different experiences over the past couple weeks. So they're going to go through some of that. We'll talk a little Sorare today, of course, and we'll just kind of see where the wind takes us. But before we get into all that, boys, we are back. How are we feeling to be back?
And
pumped
look at
up.
look at that. 3 boxes on the screen. You love to see it. Andrew, you were saying before we started recording, you're physically back, but
Yeah.
mentally
Oh,
maybe a little still in Europe or
My body thinks I'm in Europe still. I've been
oh.
waking up essentially like noon European time. Um, but it's 5 a.m. here in Chicago, which obviously, and as someone that struggles to get out of bed in the morning, I'm kind of grateful for it too. But the early sleep schedule has caused my like eating habits to also be off.
oh
I
no.
you generally try to eat lunch around the same time, which is about 5 hours after I wake up. And now I'm trying to push it back to my normal around noon, and it's hard. The last hour between like right before lunch is honestly one of the hardest hours in my whole day, trying to get through that last thing. So I'm like looking at the clock and I'm like, man, I could eat a whole meal right now, but I know if I do, I'm just going to be set up for failure later in the day. So I want to make sure that, I try to eat at a responsible time. Um, which is, that's the first thing I'm going to do once we get off this. This is my perfect way to have the hour before lunch. This way I won't be as like watching the clock because, we got all of you and for all you listening, it's great to be back. Um, Related to that being over in Europe, it kind of so setting your solar lineups is kind of uh obviously, we've talked about it before, how when we're even here in the States, it can be hard to remember to set your lineups, Josh. Uh but it's even harder, I think, for American sports over in Europe. And because the timing of it is super strange. Uh NFL games are on kind of at night in Europe, but baseball games, basketball games, those that are kicking off, tipping off in like 7, 8 at night, those are like 2 and 3 a.m. in Europe. So if you're a European fan of basketball and baseball, I applaud you because I could maybe tune into a little bit of football, American football, that is, but if you are a Sorare manager based in Europe that follows MLB and NBA, that's I honestly have so much more respect for them now. Trying to set my lineups, following the games, and like just trying to stay on top of things. It's like you have to, like, when you wake up in the morning, you have to kind of like look back. Like the first thing I did was just check scores, and you have to, like, instead of living in the moment, you're always kind of reacting to what happened before. So it's been a really weird, like I have no idea what's going on in baseball right now, guys. I'll be honest with you.
You missed a
Yeah,
huge,
what I miss.
huge event that happened. It only has happened twice this year.
Triple play, perfect game.
The White Sox won 3 games in a row. They lost
Man,
yesterday, but before that, they were on a 3 game hot streak and they looked good and they were having a good time and
wow.
they need to go. I think it was 9-5 in their last 14 games, and then they won 3 in a row, so 6-5, but then they lost one. So then they need to go 6-4 in their last 10 games. My math might not be 100% there, but they need to go above 500 in order to not be the worst team in baseball. So there's that.
Okay.
Our Sorare legend, Kyle Tucker, is back from the IL.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They told Solar Data told me to start him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's back. We have the Yankees. Clay Holmes is back. The
Oh,
Yankees are
he
on
is.
fire, and
In a good way or a bad way?
in a good way, believe it or not.
Okay. Okay. So they're
They're
not
pulling
burning
away
their
from the
yeah.
Orioles. They're Corbin Burnsing. They're not
Mm.
Corbin Burnsing up their stuff. What else? What else? Um, Dodgers are cracked.
Phillies are
Sorry.
Yeah.
cracked.
Phillies
Phillies
are
are probably
cracked.
the 1 seed over the
Brewers
Dodgers.
are slowly chugging their way to winning the division.
One game away.
One game, the
They
magic
they
number.
will be they will be the first team to clinch their division,
Wow.
which is
Unless they
probably
lose the
more
rest of their games and the Cubs
unless
win the rest of their
this is
games.
true. It's probably more a testament to the mediocrity of the NL Central, more so than the Brewers being so good. Um, but still, it's a cool thing. I'm really hoping that the Cubs win today, which is probably the first time I've ever said that, because clinching the division 3 hours before your game starts is extremely lame. So I'm really hoping the Cubs win, so that way the Brewers can win tonight and then celebrate how they should. But yeah, that's the first and probably last time you'll ever hear me say I want the Cubs to win today.
But
I
only if
don't
the
know. Let
Brewers
them
win.
lose. Let them lose.
It
That's a
would be
terrible way to clinch the
who
division.
cares? Having Council lose is a great way to have the division
It's
clinched.
true. It's true. I
That's
just want
sweet
the fans to
consolation.
be at the stadium so they can celebrate with the team.
I feel you. Watching on the big board, waiting for the other games to end. That's fun.
Yeah,
But if they just win, that's also fun.
true. Very true. Andrew, going back to your life experiences, as someone who has never truly experienced jet lag, I've always heard from other people that it's worse coming back than it is going there. Is that true?
It's hard to say. So yes, I would say yes, but it's also the fact of, you're on vacation versus you're not on
Sure.
vacation.
Makes
So I don't
sense.
know if that has anything to do with it. But yeah, I think it's a lot harder to adjust back to, because my body still like I think my body right now thinks it's like night. It's like dinner time, even though it's like the middle of the day. So I've been like more tired at night, more awake in the morning. But that's honestly, I feel like I'm 65 all of a sudden. But other than that, it's all right.
See,
But
baseball does it right. They do the Japan series in like middle of March
yeah,
and then give it a few weeks and then the regular season maybe like 10 days. Whereas the NFL, teams flying to Germany, playing a game and then flying back and playing another game the next week.
that is so
I don't
hard.
know, man. That's tough. That's
Yeah,
tough.
right.
Yeah, NFL, you've also missed the NFL
I did not.
with the
I
jet
actually
lag.
I did
Okay.
follow that. It's NFL. So I wish it kind of made me appreciate. I wish there were more noon start times for baseball. The NFL is actually pretty easy to follow since most of the games are on like easy times over in Europe. Um, but I definitely think for if baseball and basketball do want to get serious about growing over there, they need to have like earlier games so that you can actually watch them without sacrificing sleep or being awake at really weird times of the day. But no, NFL, I was able to watch pretty easy. They were showing some games in some of the bars I was at, which was cool.
Nice.
Granted, soccer was on international break, so there wasn't any competition there. But yeah, NFL, we're back, baby.
Heyo. Yeah, I guess I would figure just because of like America, and I guess you could say globalization, that football would be bigger than baseball in most other parts of the world where
Probably, yeah.
football isn't a primary sport, but neither is baseball. Like, for example, obviously in the Dominican Republic,
Well,
it's going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
baseball because baseball is a
Yep.
primary sport there.
Right.
Yeah, nice. I'm trying to think of other things to go to spin it back. What other baseball things have happened? But I mean, that's about it. Nothing too crazy. We've had
The Mets are
Lindor's
maybe
hurt now. I talked
that's
about him
true.
being one of my favorite players from this year last episode, and he got hurt. And yeah, cool. Just like when we put Alec Boehm in our
Oh,
playoff lineup and then he got hurt. He's back. He's back, I think. Is he?
Who cares?
Brewers are playing the Phillies. Brewers are playing the Phillies. Come on. But yeah, I mean that's it, man. I think what you might have missed the most was the beginning of the Premier League season. Unless that
mm.
you were watching in, I feel like it's not as big in like a Portugal or a Spain, you know?
Prem is huge, man.
Is it?
Prem.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
okay,
oh yeah.
okay. So
Wow.
Yeah.
were you watching the Prem then? I guess I can't speak for Europe because I've never been, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Prem seems to be like the most popular. The Bundesliga actually surprisingly popular. Like I went to a bar, was hoping that there would be a game on, and it was. I mean, granted, it was Friday, so there are a lot fewer games, but the Dortmund and I don't even know what it's like FCH, some German city.
Heidenheim?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Heidenheim perhaps.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe.
but yeah, that game was being shown in English, which was pretty cool, even though I was in Spain. So the game, I don't know why I was in English. Uh, but it was I think top five leagues in Europe are popular throughout the whole.
Okay.
Um, but granted, I don't know if it comes down to like a Saturday or Sunday when all of the leagues are playing, how that gets prioritized. So you might be right. Like I'm sure in Spain, like on like a La Liga Saturday, then probably not as much Prem games. But I do think if there was one league that you could find the games at everywhere, it probably is the Prem.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah,
Makes
I
sense.
guess like thinking about it from an American standpoint, you're watching the MLB, you're watching the NFL, you're
Yep.
watching the NBA. What other leagues are you watching of those sports? None. I
Yep.
mean, are you watching the Canadian Football League? No offense, Canada. Are you watching? I'll watch the La Liga de Mexico, Mexican La Liga. I'll watch that for sure if it's on. But Mexican Baseball League? No. Dominican Winter League? I'll catch some highlights every now and then, but it's not like it's being shown on a Friday afternoon at a
Right.
bar you're gonna go to. Yeah, so it's a different vibe over there, huh? When it comes to sports.
For sure.
But they definitely do love soccer a whole lot. Like
Oh yeah.
you can't go anywhere without seeing the favorite teams or the favorite um you know whether that's just from advertisements that you're just like walking down the street and it's on like a flagpole or just in the shops, and there's so many knockoff jerseys, it's crazy. Just like everyone like on the corner just selling like a fake, like I don't even like you can tell like the patch has been like taped on. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but
Yeah.
it's trying. You can tell it's not like Pulisic might have an extra S there, where it shouldn't be. So but it's just part of the culture. But I don't know. Sports kind of unites us all, and um, it's cool that I think it was so rare. We kind of have been exposed to sports. Obviously, we watch MLB, NBA a ton, NFL, but it's kind of with the game. I probably would not follow as much soccer, especially like the Eredivisie or the Jupiler Pro League in Belgium, if it wasn't for so rare. So it's cool that like I think sports everywhere is just becoming more popular.
hmm
For sure.
hmm
All right. On a non-sports level.
Actually, wait, real quick. Did
Okay.
you buy any jerseys, any kits?
So I've kind of hit my max with the
Got you.
number
Okay,
of
okay, okay.
jerseys I own. I was really close to getting I wanted to get a hoodie or like a warm up, like pullover that you could like wear because it was actually colder than what I was. It was not as warm over there as I was expecting. Um,
Interesting.
so I was kind of cold. So I was very close to getting a Real Madrid like hoodie. It was like their new like kit, and it had like a gold like stripe across the front of it. It was super sick, but it did not fit. Like it the sizes were super weird, and I don't know
Oh
if it's just
yeah.
like
No,
the
European sizes are
yeah, so
weird.
European sizes are very weird, and so I was like, as cool as this is, I don't want to buy something that's not going to really fit me.
Fair.
There, yeah. So Nash, what were you gonna say?
That kind of played in.
Non-sports?
I was gonna say I was gonna ask you three questions, and that
Ooh,
kind of played into one of them.
All
three
right,
burning
rapid fire.
questions.
All right. First one is your favorite part of the trip.
Hmm.
Second one is the coolest thing that you saw. And then third was, did you bring anything home?
Okay. So I'll answer the last one first. Did I bring
Okay.
anything home? Very, very little, because we packed in a carry-on. So we had two
Wow.
weeks worth of clothes in a very, very small, so
Impressive.
space was
Wow.
very, very limited. Uh,
Impressive.
it was good because it also kept me in check. That was also a reason why I didn't get the hoodie, because I knew I would have to pack. Well, space was just not going to exist. So we didn't bring that much stuff home, which is probably a good thing. We spent most of our money on food and uh, beer and wine, which is always a great thing. Um, the coolest thing, there are so many. I think this is a feeling that a lot of people can relate to when you see something like whether that's like a picture of something or a magazine, and then you see it in real life. And for me, that was like the Roman Colosseum. Like
Mm,
you see like photos of it, and um, I don't know, just it's like part of like it's in so many movies and whatnot, and then to actually see it in person, that was like super, just like mind blown. Um, but then I would say the coolest thing was probably just the food in Italy. Uh, I've been to a few different countries in Europe, and I don't know if it's just my own preference, but you can't beat pasta and pizza. Like I'm sorry, that food is just superior to like every other kind of food. Unless you have a gluten problem, which actually they had lots of gluten-free stuff in Italy too, so
there
they
you
kind of
go.
got their bases covered.
Okay.
But yeah, Italian food can't be beat. Roman Colosseum. But yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. I feel like that can go like one way or the other. In terms of like seeing something online or a picture or in a magazine, like you said, and then you actually see it in real life. It can either like be like, wow, this is like way better than I could have imagined, or you're extremely let down. Um,
Yeah,
So I feel like that can go either way. So that's cool about the Coliseum that it was on the positive end of that spectrum.
yeah. Like I would say like the Mona Lisa or some of the, like I feel like that I've felt that way sometimes with art before, where it's a lot smaller than
Mhm.
than what you think of it as.
Right.
I think with buildings and whatnot, it's you don't have that same, oh my gosh, like this is kind of like way oversold. Um, but yeah, I've definitely seen that with art before, where you see this like the poster makes it look massive, and then when you get in the room with it, it's like the size of like a post-it note, and
Right.
it's obviously it's still amazing to see, but it's not as special as, I don't know, maybe how it's made out to be.
For
Fair,
sure. Sweet.
fair.
All right. Wow.
So food, Italian food,
Mm.
Ooh.
better. Have you ever had something here in America that compares to what you had over there? Because
Ooh.
I've heard from friends that have been to Italy that it's just they do it right here, but they don't do it Italian right. Like
Mm.
there are places that make, I'm thinking of one specific in Milwaukee that like homemade pasta and homemade
Yep.
pesto and homemade everything. And it's still not exactly the same as Italy, I guess is what I'm getting at. Is this true?
Yes, and I think it's just because the ingredients that they use, from like the milk to the eggs to the flour, is just so much better than like what we have here. Like there's so much crap in our foods. It's honestly crazy. A really bad Google hole you can get into is if you search products that are banned in the EU that are allowed in America, the list is like it's long, guys. It's kind of scary. And so I think, yeah, the food over there is better because it's like it's more whole. There's fewer additives. And even with pasta, like, yes, it's probably the same ingredients, but I think just if you're going from like farm fresh eggs and milk that hasn't been tainted with, or maybe like, I don't know, messed with a little bit less, that just could make the pasta even way better. um I also think it's too a little bit of like, your own, you're surrounded in the atmosphere, so I think things kind of can taste a little bit better, that there's that
You're on
eff-
vacation.
yeah, the
Yeah.
vacation effect. um but it's still I think it's just the ingredients that they have that, unfortunately we've just mass produced and added way too much crap to.
How about that? Yeah, I
There you
mean, it
go.
makes me want to try it for sure.
Yeah.
And there are probably places in America, like, again, I'm thinking of one where it's like it's good stuff, but I've never had that comparison. Now that you have, it's just like,
So do
Yeah.
you have a travel bucket list? Like, what is on your guys' travel bucket
Ooh.
list of things you want to see?
more like eat.
Oh, or eat? Eat,
Yeah,
sure,
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
I think it'd be cool eventually to go to like a small town somewhere
Oh,
or
okay.
like a little island. Um, like for example, there's one called Reunion by Madagascar
Oh,
that looks really, really cool. Or there's like a small town in Iceland. Imagine going to
Hmm.
like Greenland. That'd be
That'd be
like,
crazy.
yeah, I don't know. So something like that. But if I were to go to like a large place, I would say, I mean, it's tough to really say. To For food and for drinks, it would be hard to pass up Germany or Austria.
ooh,
For
okay,
sure.
okay.
But
Wiener Schnitzel?
as I can speak Spanish,
Yes,
also
that's key.
Spain is on that list. Spain Spanish is fake Spanish, even though it's the country where it comes from.
Just don't go to Barca.
Yeah, but then also like,
Martha.
yeah, oh yeah. So I mean, there's South America too. There's so many different
True.
places.
So many places, yeah.
So islands,
Um,
so small islands with not that many people. I
I
like
like
it.
that. Yeah. For me, it's definitely seeing a Bayern game at the Allianz. Like that's
Mm.
definitely up there for me. Um, I think number one on my list right now is actually Banff in Canada, which is
Ooh.
like
Oh,
it's not European, obviously, and it's not
doesn't have to
related
be.
to food or anything, but that's probably number one on my travel list right now.
There we
More for
go.
the nature sites.
Yeah.
Interesting. So are you going a little Colorado? Are we gonna see you in the mountains sometime, Josh? Are you longing to
Yeah,
get out in the
they're
wilderness?
calling. I
Would
must go.
would highly recommend.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's the other thing. Jacob, you probably can attest to this more, but what also stood out to me, and I don't know if this is not just a European thing, but the rest of the world has so many more mountains than we have in the state. I agree, again, like we're growing up, we all grew up in the Midwest, which is one of the flattest places on the earth, as I've come to realize. But everywhere else is mountainous, and I don't know if it's like way cooler than I don't know. But again, if you leave the Midwest, go east or west, you'll run into mountains. But that's just another thing that stood out of, I think everywhere we went, Italy, Portugal, and Spain all have huge
Mm-hmm.
mountains, so just like
Mm-hmm.
right in the middle of their stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but England doesn't. So I
Nah,
guess it kind of
True.
evens out.
England's got hills like the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Montañas, see.
They're probably called something else in the UK, like like
Hills or
Toppies.
I think that
could
might
see
mean
that.
something different, but
Like hill, no,
Oh
like
yeah,
hilltop,
whoa,
the
whoa.
toppy, getting the toppy. Wait a minute,
Oh no, Andrew's back, baby.
he's back, baby.
Oh man. Well, enough about you,
okay.
Andrew.
Yeah. No. Okay, wait. The toppy having too many high frequency sounds.
There you go.
Okay, there
Sure.
we go.
Oh,
So
it's a real word.
it's a real word.
I
So
thought
you
you
can
were
use it in
Urban
Scrabble.
Dictionarying this, and I was
You
like, oh
don't want
God,
to,
we're
you
doing
probably
the.
don't want to Urban Dictionary that one.
You don't want to
Does it?
Urban Dictionary
When's the
anything.
last time you've
This
been
is
on
true.
Urban Dictionary? Because now that I mentioned that, I'm like, I don't know the last time I've been on that website. Like high school, college?
Really? It's
Yeah.
definitely been within the last like couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. It's extremely entertaining. Like if you ever
Fair.
just type in something random, it's
Fair.
kind of funny.
Feel like so many other things have replaced that I don't need like you can just learn slang so many different places that it's but I appreciate that it still exists the same way. It's like YouTube has kind of evolved. Like YouTube could have easily been something that was really popular in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, probably a little bit later than that, and they just died off because something else replaced it. But the fact that like YouTube has grown is crazy. And, in a site like Urban Dictionary was as popular as YouTube back in like 2014, but then I'm sure it's like kind of come down as it's all the things that stay relevant. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have
Definitely.
not been on in years.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. We'll have to have a X-rated podcast where we just
Oh
scroll
God.
through
Oh,
Urban Dictionary.
Oh, get that E logo
Yeah,
that we
exactly.
always talk about.
Jacob, you got a new hat on. Where
I
did you
Oh,
do
get
have a
that?
new hat on.
oh.
I went to Marshall's
Ah, Coles.
and it was on sale.
We
Coles
only shop at
Cash.
Kohl's. We're a
Kohl's
Kohl's
Cash.
podcast.
That's
We're
true.
Cole, we're sponsored.
We're,
That's
we're
true.
sponsored by Kohl's. Yeah,
I
Kohl's.
got it at Truist Field in Atlanta.
Oh, yes,
In
sir.
Oh,
Atlanta, yes, sir. Last Thursday. So, as of recording this last Thursday, we drove down to Atlanta and made a little weekend out of it with a little special on Saturday, thanks to Sorare. But yeah, we on Friday, my girlfriend still had to work, so we just like hopped around the city, coffee shops and stuff, working. I wasn't working. I was setting my Sorare lineups and
hey,
making YouTube videos and stuff. Yeah.
Sounds like working to
hey, that
me.
is
It's true.
working.
That's
That's
true. That's
working.
true. And then, yeah, and then Saturday comes around and we're there. And the main reason why we went there is because we got tickets from Sorare.
Whoa.
So make sure if you aren't signed up for Sorare yet to use our code in the description for $50 market credit to your playoff team that will be relevant. We'll talk about the playoffs for a few minutes at the end of this podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can also win tickets to games like this too. But yeah, we got together with a few of the guys from the Sorare community. We came from,
Ooh.
believe it or not, all over the place.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some Florida, we had some out west, we had people
Whoa.
from Atlanta, we had North Carolina. Yeah, we
Out
had
west.
we
Wow.
had a good old time there. So shout out, of course, Hunter for setting this all up. Andrew, you were just on his podcast before you
I
left.
know. Shout out to Hunter. He's
Great
awesome.
episode, great episode. And then shout out to Miguel,
Ooh.
longtime listener who was
You
able.
met Miguel?
Yes,
Legend.
yes.
What a legend.
We we had a great time. We met up. We watched some soccer to start off with. We watched Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Chelsea took care of them. And then we watched
Nice.
some college football, LSU, LS who versus South
Oh,
Carolina. Oh boy, dramatic
almost
end to
lost.
that one. LSU almost lost. Everyone in this area is a South Carolina fan. And they say go something. I don't know. I don't want to get banned for saying what they say. But they say
It's a
Roosters.
bird. It's a
Go
bird.
exactly.
Roosters.
And it's very strange. They lost. But then the main event came around. Also shout out to the Sorare soccer guys too, the football guys, because
Oh.
there was a group going to the Atlanta United game.
Did they
Yeah.
overlap?
Yes, they overlapped.
Oh,
I
dang,
know. So
dang.
we couldn't do like one of
Double
each
A
dip.
because
double header?
that would have been a weekend right there. But
Yeah.
no, they were both at 7:30. So completely different sides. Did you know that Truist Field is not actually in Atlanta? It's in Marietta.
Yeah,
It's
they moved
like,
it to
isn't
like
it
the
like
middle of nowhere.
45 minutes away?
No, it was like 25.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
not that far up.
Yeah. I mean, if
I
you
did know
include
that.
like driving around looking for parking and walking to the stadium.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we met up with these guys and then we drove on over to Marietta and parked and walked over. Didn't go in the game yet because we walked around the field. They have a really cool spot. I would compare it to like an even bigger version of what's in front of the Pfizer Forum with the Bucks. It's
Hmm.
bars, it's restaurants, it's music, there's sports shops, there's memorabilia shops. And then there's also the stadium. So we
That's
walked
awesome.
around, we found a couple people to interview to get some questions off of. If you saw Hunter's video, it was great.
I
Great
did.
I
video.
featured
Yeah.
in it. I had 4 great guesses and one absolutely horrific guess. So, but I won't spoil it. Go check it out. Go check out Hunter's video. But to be fair, I told my girlfriend to say the one that was wrong, so she was the one who said, "Go watch the
So you,
video."
you were 4 for 4. She
Yeah, it
was
sounds
0
like
for
you
1.
perfect.
Exactly. I'm batting 1,000, and then my pinch hitter is batting 0.
Yes, exactly.
All the
That's funny.
bullpen.
I called it the bullpen. Yeah, and then we made it. We finally made it into the stadium. There was a bit of confusion with tickets, but we
Yes, I want to
figured
hear
it
about
out.
this.
We figured it out. Yeah, so they accidentally sent us tickets for the Monday game
Oh
instead
Oh,
no.
of Saturday. So we were
Whoops.
all like, "Uh-oh." But we figured it out. We managed to get, or I shouldn't say we, I had nothing to do with it. Sorare managed to get us into the game and everything was
wow.
made right. I got my hat. Actually, funny story about this hat. Way funnier than the Sorare story because we made it to the game and it was a good time. But we were waiting in line for the club shop and they're like letting people in and letting people out pretty quickly. But it's like as soon as someone goes out, then someone else goes in, like a bar.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And so we were like, once we get in there, we're gonna hurry up and just check out and not miss any pitches. So we did that, get outside. I put on the hat, and I'm like, it doesn't fit. So I look at the tag, and I bought a kid's
No.
hat. I
Oh
bought a
my
kid's
God.
hat. After waiting in line and trying not to take up too much time, I bought a kid's hat. So went back in line, and this is where the girlfriend comes in clutch. I don't know why I said the like I'm objectifying her. That sounded really bad, but I'm not, I promise. Um,
Sounds like you're making her important.
she
That's a good
waited
thing.
in
Yes.
line while she let me go watch Otani bat, who struck out.
Oh.
Wait, it was the Dodgers?
No, he didn't. He walked. He
Wait, you
walked.
watched? It was the
It was
Dodgers
Braves
against the Braves?
Dodgers. Braves
Oh my God.
Dodgers.
So
Um,
Otani?
I saw Otani strike out, get walked, and ground into a fielder's choice. And then he got pinch hit for in the 8th inning because the Braves were up 9-1 or 10-1, something like that. They pitched a position player in the 7th and 8th innings.
Wow.
Shout out Miguel Rojas and Kike Hernandez for
Wow.
pitching 2 scoreless innings against the Braves. With the cherry on top from Chris Taylor, who robbed Adam Duvall of a home run. Another crazy story. Adam Duvall, pinch hitter, comes in for the Braves. Hunters goes, he's going to hit a home run. He's the type to come in and hit a home run off a position player. And what does he do? He hits a ball 340 feet, but it's caught by Chris Taylor, who climbs the wall and robs a home run.
Oh
We
my
were
Oh
God.
like,
man.
if there was a camera, like a selfie camera facing us, we were both like,
You watching this? Yeah.
That's awesome.
so yeah.
Well, sweet.
But yeah, it was a good time. Again, thank you to Sorare so much for the tickets. Hey, I'm available to do it again. next year is
In
the
Chicago?
All-Star game. Nah,
Oh.
in none other than Atlanta, Georgia, Marietta, Georgia. All I'm
Oh.
saying is I'm available. I'm available.
Okay.
There you go. Maybe we'll all be available.
If you
I can
want,
get down to
if you
to
want
Atlanta.
someone who can hit a baseball and shoot a promo video for So Rare, I can go and take some batting practice. It's the name of our podcast.
It just makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes too much sense.
Yeah. I'll
There you go.
volunteer as tribute.
When's the last time you swung a bat?
Oh.
I swung a bat pretty recently because we have one here for, the high crime rate in our house. So every time one of these dogs doesn't protect us from an intruder, because what they do is just sleep all day, we got a baseball bat just in case.
Wow.
But I went and took some cuts just for fun.
There you go.
I was like, I still got it.
There you go. I like that. That's awesome.
But yeah,
Alright.
So you met up with some strangers you met on the internet.
Exactly.
It's kind of making me think I should do that. That's as
Ooh.
honestly like as if you like if you were to tell anyone else, what you did this weekend, I think most people would be like, "You did what?
yeah.
You met them on the internet and you're here. You didn't get kidnapped. You didn't get you had a good time. So it's amazing. Every time I hear these Sorare stories, I'm like, I personally have never met up with anyone that I've met on the internet. I think that's true. That I can recall. But I definitely want to go to a Sorare event. If maybe we'll have to plan one.
You start a Chicago Discord.
I was gonna say,
Unless there already is one.
I don't know, but we'll have to start one. Because we could definitely make it happen with a double header with the Fire and a Cubs or Sox, or potentially both Cubs
Yeah.
and Sox double header. So many
I
options.
bet. I wonder what you could get some White Sox tickets for like right now. Be like, you know what? I
Probably
kind of want
really
to go
cheap.
to a game at the end of the season.
Okay, let's see.
I'm gonna say the cheapest ticket is $5.
Five.
I bet you can get in for $1.
No way.
Oh.
We're not talking
Let's
about the
see.
Panthers here. Again, free content week to week.
I gotta
Price
change
out.
my location. So it was fun to meet up with strangers. So what I guess did you talk about Sorare? Did you talk about baseball? What
Yeah.
different strategies? Like tell us, what give us or some insight into what you guys talked about.
Just classic stuff. Who we like playing, why we have these players in our team. Bragged about rewards for a little bit. Miguel's gotten first place twice this year, so
Wow.
we're slacking. We have no
Yeah.
first
Seriously.
place this year, and he has two.
In
So
limited or rare? Which level?
it was limited.
Wow, that's I
Yeah,
think that's more impressive than
I'm
rare.
trying to remember the
There's
exact
so many
competitions
people.
that he won. Yeah, but yeah, I know he won a Gunnar Henderson.
Wow.
So that's
Ooh.
pretty dang solid there. Yeah. Um, yeah, but also just a lot of like whatever, like small talk, like not so rare or baseball talk, which is kind of like, it's what you do when you meet people. And it turned out that they weren't just random strangers on the internet, but also enjoyable group of people to be with too. So,
There you go.
yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
So what you're
Very
saying?
cool.
So what you're saying is, if anyone gets the opportunity to go to a Sorare meetup, you should definitely do it because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Why not?
All right. Yeah.
Do it. Organize one. Chicago right now.
It's
When
we're at the end of almost at the end of the season. Oh,
you
I guess
can
NBA Bucks or Bulls.
no, you can go to a Cubs game when they make the play. Oh,
Oh, wow.
Wait, Nashi, we're gonna have to run it back at the Brewers playoffs.
I
Although
know. I
we were
know.
bad luck though, right?
We did see a losing effort, but it's hard to take too much blame because we lost to the Diamondbacks and they went to the World Series. So it's hard to take too much of the blame for that one.
Yeah, the other thing, and this is a good and bad problem. Obviously, we talked about earlier about the Brewers clinching, which is fantastic, but we still do have the potential. I did look before this. I did a little bit of baseball research. Potential to skip the wild card round if we were to pull into the second overall spot in the NL, which is still possible, probably unlikely. But these games against the Phillies matter a ton, even though it's likely we're chasing the Dodgers more. So I don't know. Like, do you think are the Brewers going to lock up that second position, or are we just should we expect to be playing in that wild card round?
My prediction, I'm gonna say wild card round, but they're gonna win.
Oh, I like
Three
that.
three games, three
Three
games.
games all at home.
Okay, because thinking about this, I was looking at the schedule to see when we could possibly get tickets for. But again, if you don't know which round you're going to be in, and if you don't know how long this series is going to go, it's actually very, very hard to plan out going to a playoff game because it's so dynamic. And not to mention if you aren't one of the top two seeds, you're probably going to be playing a lot of those games on the road anyway. But for the Brewers' sake, if they do make the wild card round, I think they would have two games at home, right? Or would all three be in
All of them.
Milwaukee?
All three of them. The
Wow,
wild card team has no home games, if I'm
that's
correct.
crazy. Wow.
Yeah, just like last year, and we lost two of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they're gonna do it this year.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Jacob. I think we just miss out on a bye. We're 2 games back of the Dodgers right now, so it's definitely possible to make up that ground. Um, we have a pretty tough couple games coming up between Phillies today and then a 4-gamer against the Diamondbacks. Not an easy series at all. So I think we just miss out, but I think we can beat whoever that last wild card team is going to be.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry, MLB. I'm looking at the Dodgers schedule. Did you know that of the remaining games, six of them are against the Rockies? Six.
Look at the Cubs schedule.
Six.
Look at the Cubs schedule.
What?
Yeah, it's
Do they
brutal.
do they just play like the Cardinals every day? Oh yeah, it is pretty brutal. Phillies to close it out, and the Reds.
No, it's like Reds,
It's terrible.
Athletics, yeah.
Rockies, White Sox.
Rockies,
Didn't they
yeah.
play the White Sox?
They just
Maybe
played the
not.
Rockies, yeah.
And
Um,
got swept or lost two out of
Obviously the
three or
Brewers have already played this team and they are where they are, so you can't really complain.
right.
No.
And for the
They
Dodgers,
did
it's divisional, so
Brewers did take 2 out of 3 in Arizona. Keep that in mind.
yeah, and should
They
have
did.
swept.
Could have swept, not for a very weird last game.
Weird, very weird. Okay, quickly going back, Jacob, where does you've been to a few ballparks in your time?
Ooh.
Where does Truist
Oh,
Park
Truist is
rank?
really nice. Truist is
I've heard
really,
great
really nice.
things.
Yeah. Um, we went to Target Field and Busch
Great
Stadium
stadium.
right when they opened.
Mm.
Target Field maybe a few years after, Busch Stadium literally like a few weeks after it opened.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was a good, I would say, like getting to experience those two as new, clean ballparks, those are up there for sure. But Atlanta's really, really nice. And again, is it because it's new? Sure, maybe. But I'd say top three for sure.
Oh, yeah, what they've done with like the
I've been to
surrounding
Oracle.
area.
I've been to Oracle in San Francisco, but not to a game. So I feel like I can't fully rate San Francisco.
I feel
Fair.
like for me, a city or I like city stadiums and like all the places except for Atlanta, I think are in the city proper.
The
So I
Brewers.
don't know. Well, yeah, the Brewers
Yeah.
is kind of a weird one, but like Oracle and you know St. Louis and I forget the other
I
one.
mean, Arlington's in the middle of nowhere
True,
for the
true.
Rangers. Not, I mean, you know what I mean by that.
So
Yeah,
is
it's not
the
down.
Nationals too.
Yeah, Nationals aren't technically in DC. Or are they?
No,
They're
I mean
out.
it's like it's kind of the same thing. It's out of the city, but
Yeah.
it's within city limits.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, I think, yeah, I've heard great things. I think what they've done around the stadium is a really cool idea. I think a lot more ballparks, especially the ones that aren't in like right in the middle of the city, should kind of adopt that idea. I think the Brewers could pull that off, maybe if they had a little more room, they could build up around the stadium. But that seems like a cool addition to not only the ballpark, but have the surrounding area be a place to go, which is cool.
Yeah, how much tailgating opportunities were there, or
Oh,
is it
there's
like
specific lots available for tailgating, like the Brewers
okay?
have. Yeah. There's a lot of different parking lots out there. Which pretty expensive, not gonna lie.
Oh, I bet.
But
Yeah.
I also don't know where else you would park without parking in one of these parking lots.
Fair.
Mm.
Let me know if there's anyone living in Atlanta, where do you park for Braves games if it's not in a lot? Because I think it was $40.
Dang.
The cheapest we found was 35.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So
Wow.
they're
That's
making
pretty
bank,
crazy.
man. They're making bank out there. But there was tailgating opportunities. We obviously went around. You don't need to tailgate there. They have the whole village.
Right.
I was going to say because I was going to bring that up. Like the Brewers have so much tailgating, which is amazing. But you wonder if they converted one of those lots into something like this. Would that be a better experience for people overall? I don't know, but Atlanta definitely on my list of places I want to see. And if you get the All-Star game, it's a pretty, I don't know, it's a sign that's a decent stadium and definitely one I want to go visit too.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Would also recommend seeing Otani if you haven't yet.
Ah, dang.
Just
Yeah, I'm
because
so
of
jealous of that.
just because of the international and local pull that he has.
Oh yeah.
So many Otani jerseys, so many just like people rooting for the Dodgers because of Otani at the Braves Stadium
Yep.
in
Yeah.
Atlanta. Yeah.
So
That's
So
cool.
I'm
Jacob,
sure it's the same thing you go everywhere.
and you've seen, Messi played before too. Would you
Yeah.
say does Messi or Otani have a bigger like pull?
Messy.
Ooh. Okay.
There were
Okay.
not people standing on the freeway exits selling Otani jerseys.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking like the 55, 60-mile-an-hour freeway in the city exits. People were selling Messi jerseys.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy. As crazy is Otani. It's still like the Messi effect is just like it's something else.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
Otani's real. I saw that in Chicago too. I took the train one day and I didn't know that the Dodgers were in town, but everyone on the car with me was wearing a Dodgers Otani jersey, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, the Otani must be in town, and sure enough, but yeah, he's got that pull. But Messi, the hotel where Messi was staying at in Chicago, they had to shut down the street because there were thousands of people that just flocked just to get a glimpse of him as he exited the hotel to the bus. So yes, Otani is crazy, but Messi, it's like Jesus,
That
the Christ himself.
is wild.
Dios.
That is very wild.
In Spanish, Dios means God. Dios. If you write it in capital letters, in the
Spells Messi.
middle, no, in the mid, well, yeah, in the middle, 10. And what's Messi's number?
Oh,
Wow, look at
Hmm.
that. There you go.
wow. See, is Jesus. There
Messi's
we go.
God. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
But I did go to Portugal and Madrid, and when people found out I was a soccer fan, they asked me like, "Oh, Messi or Ronaldo," and everyone there was like, Ronaldo's better. I was like, what are you guys
I mean,
talking about?
you're in Portugal. What do you can't say
Yeah.
anything else. You can't
That's
I
say
said
true.
anything.
Messi.
You got to be
Oh,
careful.
he said Messi
Whoa,
in Portugal?
whoa.
Yeah.
That's
That's
crazy.
ballsy.
And
That's
then
bold.
I Show Speed showed up and out of nowhere just punched me in the face and
Oh
said,
man.
"What are you doing, sir?"
And then he said,
Suey.
"Suey."
And I said, "I'm
Cristiano
gonna sue
Ronaldo.
you."
Oh, got
Oh,
him.
dude. He gets 200,000 viewers on his streams. I don't think you could sue him.
Yeah, I don't.
Probably
He's got
not.
better lawyers than me.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
not.
I don't think you could sue him. That's the end of the sentence.
There we go. Should we
Well, wow.
pickle it up,
Yeah,
boys?
yeah.
Pickle it
I mean,
up for old time's sake.
shout out to Sorare and all the guys we met up with. It was a great weekend.
That's awesome.
Did also go to the aquarium. So when you're in
Ooh.
Atlanta next year, when we're all meeting up for the All-Star game, we can go to the aquarium because it's the biggest aquarium I've ever been to. So many different areas. Very, very cool. And just Atlanta, also very impressed by the food.
Oh yeah, what's good there? What's
We
obviously good Southern food?
So we went to that brewery the first day. It was a German brewery, so we had some German food. That was
Nice.
great. We had some good Mexican breakfast
Oh.
at another place.
Chilaquiles?
Yeah, that's what Laura got. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then had to at the Braves Stadium. I couldn't remember what food that we ranked for the Braves was. I also didn't want to
Oh.
miss much, so I didn't explore the stadium too much. But got to have a hot dog at the game. So we
Of
have a hot
course.
dog. Yeah.
S tier.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to look back and see what it was.
Okay, I'm looking Eater Atlanta while you pull up the pickle. I'm doing some food
Andrew
research.
must be really feeling that almost 12 o'clock lunch because he's asking about food.
He is. It's that time of day. And Champions League just started. Hurry up. End the
All right.
stream.
There we
End the
go.
stream.
Should we just say Otani?
I was going to say, I think we just say Otani.
It's Otani. It's always Otani.
Lefty righty.
Okay.
It's a
two-way player. I guess that's a bad guess.
Yeah.
Unless it's Otani.
Pete Crow Armstrong. Pete Crow Armstrong.
He's a lefty. He's a lefty. Thrower too.
Yeah.
Oh, thrower too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be Bryce.
Yeah.
Churang.
Oh my God.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Wait, it's Frelick then, right?
It
has to be.
Or Mitchell?
No, it's Mitchell because Frelick's I think a little. Yep.
Are they all the same age? Okay, all right. Sally
Brewers,
boy.
they're clinching tonight.
Let's go.
All right, that's
in a very selfish way. I hope they lose and the Cubs win because I'm going to the game tomorrow.
No, stop. Gosh, it matters.
I want to see him
getting
clinch.
the bye.
I want to see him
bye.
Every game matters. Like we were just talking about. Sal Frelick and Bryce Terang both have the most defensive runs saved at their respective positions in all of baseball. So we have 2 out of 9 players.
Defense wins championships.
Defense is good. Terang better win Gold Glove finally. I say finally. It's only been 2 years, but. All right, Andrew, what is it? What did Jacob miss out on? Did you figure it out?
No, they have lots of good food, but nothing like just that was weird. So I don't know. Maybe Braves fans, let us know what do you get at Braves games you can only get there?
That is a good question. A hot dog is always a good choice.
Yeah.
So many good. Oh, the big queso, 1 pound. Okay, wait, here it is. Here we go. The big queso, 1 pound of grilled marinated chicken with Chihuahua cheese, freshly Chihuahua.
Like the
Chihuahua.
dog.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
You are. This is
El
the
Gringo.
person that the city that I live in and the place that I work at. You are the stereotypical customer that comes and says Cholula
Well, it's
and
out of
tortilla,
context.
tortilla.
Chihuahua
Tortilla is
cheese,
crazy.
freshly chopped salsa, and cilantro. There we go.
I would eat that 100%.
Sounds delicious.
Sounds
There
like
we
I could
go.
eat that pound of chicken. Usually, you're eating like a 4 to 6 ounce slab
gonna
of chicken
say.
breast. So that's like 3 servings of chicken, at least, depending on how much you eat. And that's just the chicken.
Wow.
Chihuahua.
Go eat that chihuahua. Go eat that dog.
All right.
We eat
Oh,
dogs.
that's a
and
relevant
cats.
topic right now, but in politics, and we don't talk about that.
Oh, now
That's
that
true.
we've made everybody hungry.
Yeah,
on
speaking of
that
things,
note-
speaking of things you've missed, let's talk about politics.
Oh God.
Oh, wait, yeah,
It's
there's a
time, it's
debate,
time
I
to end. We're gonna end and start a new call for a different podcast.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Batting
there you
politics.
have it. Batting politics. Oh boy.
Oh God, that would be so bad.
Well, there you have it, guys. A little less Sorare talk today, but we figured it's been a while and a lot of things have happened since last time Andrew was on. So we figured we'd talk a little bit about that. So hopefully you enjoyed. We'll be back to more Sorare and sport related content probably next week. We're inching ever closer to the playoffs, so be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. And yeah, don't forget to go subscribe to the socials and YouTube. Leave us a rating wherever you're listening to the podcast. And until next week, you just attended batting practice. Now you're ready to get in the game. Peace.
Peace.